Okay. Uh, hey guys, what's up? It's me, Infinity here. Uh, I'm actually going to be vlogging while telling you a story. I have no idea how this is going to... Wait, what the... I'm going to be vlogging while telling you a story. No. I'm going to be telling you a story while I'm cleaning up my room, which is complete. Having to deal with this is so stupid. I don't think I can do it like this. I really don't. I'm just going to go about the normal way that I go about vlogging, which involves me placing this right here and it staying still for an extended period of time. Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Infinity here. My last video, it kind of ended on a bad note because I was really tired. I still am really tired. But I'm starting up work again tomorrow because I don't want to get fired. And these people, they think they're so badass with their loud ass music, but anyway, I'm starting back up work tomorrow, even though I still don't feel good, and I still need to finish cleaning because I'm getting my new mattress tomorrow. In fact, I probably shouldn't even be vlogging right now. I should probably be cleaning, but I just want to get this done and out of the way for tomorrow, so I won't be stressing about it tomorrow. You guys, this will probably be up maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning today. Let me check how much time I have left. Okay, so I've wasted 2 minutes of your time talking. I am so sorry about that. But anyway, I know I was really mad at my mom on my last video, but I love her to death. She's my mom. I care about her, but just some things, like with any person, some things just piss you off about them. With the creature stream, they got up to $10,000, but they had to end it before 24 hours was over because the DDoSer kept attacking them over and over again, and they could barely stream for over a minute without being shut down, so they had to end it. And again, somebody who is DDoSing a freaking charity stream, it's not cool. It's just messed up. Anyway, story I wanted to talk to you about today. This actually kind of ties in with what happened on the creature stream. Bullying. Okay? Mike, this DDoSer, he was trying to get the teachers, what? He was trying to get the creatures to play Battlefield 3. I don't know why, but he was DDoSing them so that they would comply with his request. I believe that's how it went. I might be wrong about that, but either way, he was bullying them and messing with a very good cause. But here's my story. Now, most people, whether they know it or not, they have been a bully at some point in their lifetime. I believe I might have been, Mike. I believe I have been in a way that I didn't know I was bullying a kid, but I in fact was. Now, let me explain this to you. When I was in elementary school, there was this kid I used to hang out with. I'm just going to say his name, because what are the chances you're going to find him? His name's Yvonne. So, he was my friend. I don't know about my other friends, because back in elementary school, they usually thought that he was really annoying. And Ilham even had this really bad nickname for him, Abana Gabana. I don't know why that was there for him, but it was. Anyway, Uh, I thought of him as my friend. He he would come over to my house sometimes. Sometimes we'd go swimming during the summer. Sometimes we'd play Pokemon. I let him even borrow my Pokemon Ruby once, and that, for me to let somebody borrow my game, that's extreme trust right there. Anyway, um, uh, my friends, like, they thought he was annoying sometimes, and I would be like, yeah, he is kind of annoying, but he's still pretty cool. And, there would be multiple cases in which we, I don't know, would it be really bullying? Like, yeah, it probably would be. We were playing Keep Away with a dodgeball that, Yvonne wanted to play with in elementary school. That, I guess that was bullying. Um, usually, uh, usually it was just verbal words, I'm guessing, that came to him, but, yeah, like, I thought of him as a friend of mine, and when it comes to my friends and stuff, we just mess with each other, because that's just how we are. But I have no idea if Avant took that as us bullying him or us just being his friend. Because, like, one of my friends, like, uh, they don't know when to stop when it comes to messing around. So it's like over and over and over and over and over and over. It's not like one, hey, what's up, bitch? It's like, consistently degrading them to the point that it's not funny and then going past it a bit more. My friends have gotten better at that, but, this is an elementary school, so, yeah. Checking the time again. 2 minutes, great. So, when I was, when I was in elementary school, hung out with him a lot. Everything was pretty good. I mean, he was my friend. But, like, this thing that I heard from one of his family members, like, really impacted me a few years ago. Like, I knew his little brothers because they lived in the same apartment complex as me, and I would usually see them out playing about and stuff. And, one of them told me that, he tried to commit suicide. And this was, like, middle school. Like, when he entered middle school. Like, literally the year that, we weren't in the same schools anymore. We started off in the same elementary school, then, he went to a different middle school than us, and I heard that he, tried to commit suicide the summer of that year. And that impacted me, because then I thought back to everything that, let me just restart this. Because then I thought back to everything that me and my friends had did to him, and I thought, were we in any way the cause of this? Did we somehow accidentally cause him to feel that way about himself? And, like, if we did, then, man, I feel horrible about that, but honestly, I thought we were just friends that, mess with each other sometimes, just like all of us are currently. But with him, I just don't know. I need to check the time. Again, 8 minutes. Okay, good, it reset the time. Oh, God. So, it just got me thinking about that. And I realized that, like, if he didn't consider us to be his friends, then we would have been bullying him. We would have been bullying him really badly. But if he did, then I don't know. I really do hope that it had nothing to do with us. But, yeah. And just the idea that he tried to commit suicide, I mean, that's just... It's insane. It's just insane. And Carlos has told me this before, that people who try to commit suicide are just cowards. Like, they're looking for the easy way out, or they are just emotionally weak, and they're going to be like that forever. But I don't believe that. I believe that circumstances drive people to go to extreme measures. And it's not like it all just hit at once. Like, it's not like just one particular day was so bad, they're just like, you know what, screw everything. No, it's like, it's a build-up. Like, one day, your mom calls you an asshole, threatens to kick you out of the house. Next day, like, I don't know, your dog dies or something. But it's a repeated amount of events that degrade and wear down at your mental bindings until you feel like you're the most worthless person in the world. That's how I believe it is. And then at that point, that person's like, well, fuck everything. I'm gone. But when that is happening, like, and nobody comes up to help them out, then I feel like they're as much to blame as the person who did it, because they didn't want to help their friend out in a time in which he really needed them, or something like that. Anyway, enough about that. I mean, Vaughn's fine now. He's pretty dark, with emotions and stuff, plays guitar and stuff, but he's doing fine. Now, let me move on to a story about, well, me. Third grade, Idaho. That's where I used to live. I got pulled out of my class, because I was no longer going to school there, and my grandma moved me to my cousin's house so that we could, live there, because we had to sell the house and a bunch of other stuff. I don't know why it happened, but it just did. So, sold the house, moved there. I didn't want to, but we did. My mom was off trucking in, like, all throughout the United States, and it was just me and my grandma. And then we moved in with my cousin, his mom, and my uncle. So, now my cousin, like, we didn't really get along very much. Like, we were of conflicting personalities. I was the guy who, like, I don't know, he was just very violent. Like, just how he was. And, throughout the entire year that I had to go to school there, I took multiple absent days, more absent days than I probably should have, because I'm pretty sure that I missed a good full month of school by going home early, missing days, all this other stuff. And, let me check the time. And I missed so much school that, like, I probably should be back one grade by now. But the tardy rules hadn't been set into place yet, so I got to keep on, going up to the next grade. Anyway, throughout the entire year that I lived there, my cousin, multiple times, like, he would come up to me and he would fight me and he would beat the crap out of me. Like, this happened almost on a daily basis. He would threaten to, what is it called, disjoint my fingers and all this other crap. And if I saw him today, I would beat the shit out of him, but I was not strong as a kid, like as I am now. So, throughout that entire time, it was just me getting the crap beaten out of me. And there was this one time where this new student moved in to school, and he was making fun of these girls I was friends with, and I told him to lay off. And so I thoroughly got the shit beaten out of me, but my cousin stepped in and saved me. I imagine it's because it's something like one of those, nobody messes with him but me moments, or something like that. I appreciate it, but I still hate him. And that kid stayed there for a few weeks before getting suspended. But, yeah. Ever since I was a kid, I always took care of other people, because I just was a very caring kid, but I would still get bullied the crap ton of the time. But that only happened, like, right when I moved away from the home that I had grown up from. Nampa, like, that place was my home. That place was where my heart was. And moving away from there, it just broke me apart. I hated it. Checking the time again. So, I'm sorry this story's going really slow, but, like, I want to tell it right. So, when I was in, when I finally got a call from my mom saying that, she had found a place here in Dallas, Texas, where, she was going to move to and wanted to know if I wanted to go with her, I was like, yes. Because at the time, like, my mom just seemed like this, like, God-sent savior that was there to get me away from this horrid place where I was constantly being beaten up and hurt. And, you know, I used to spend so much time in my dog's kennels. Like, the dogs had a kennel outside, and I would literally go in there and go into their kennel and just sit around with them sometimes. Resetting. So, and I would just sit around with my dogs because, like, that was the only peaceful part about my life up there, was hanging out with my dogs and also playing video games. It's how I got so hooked into Pokemon, because it was my escape from reality, basically. I'll have another video explaining Pokemon more in the future, but for now it's just going to be this. So, yeah, I finally moved away from there and I was so happy. I got down to Dallas, and I met my mom's roommate, and everything was great. Everything was happy for me. But then, my mom said that she had to start going back to work. And when she did, she said she was going to send me to summer camp and asked if I was okay with that. And I said, sure, I was okay with that. And then, so I went to this camp, and at that camp, oh my god, that was worse. Like, if it's even possible to be worse, it was worse. I only had one friend that was there, and it was the most horrible thing ever. That one friend, he was never in any camp activities with me, but while I was at that camp, I was bullied to no end. Like, people would come up to me and beat me up, and you know, like in the movies where there's a bunch of people ganging up around one person, like kicking the shit out of them, and this person's like in the fetal position, crying or something. That was me back then. That was me. I was the person on the ground getting the shit beaten out of them. And it was horrible. It was the worst thing ever. So, I begged to be let out of there. I begged my mom, and she couldn't let me go because rules in Texas stated that a kid at my age, at my current age back then, was not able to stay home alone. Checking the time. So, what I did was I did my best to survive it. I brought my Pokemon games to camp every single day. And that was my escape from camp. I ended up sitting in the corners of camp. Instead of playing with everybody else, I just played my games and did nothing else. I swam sometimes too. And then, this one time, I can't even believe this one time. This is the stupidest thing ever. I was playing dodgeball with a few people. I was forced into playing dodgeball by some of the counselors that were there. And, so I was playing dodgeball, and I'm really good at dodgeball, because I was good at aiming stuff. So, I was in there, I was throwing stuff around, and I knocked out everybody. Well, we were knocking out everybody, and then they called for the game to be over because there was no more time left in the game. Give me a second, guys. My camera's about to run out of time here, and I can't have it be doing that right now. So, see you guys in a few minutes, I guess. Okay, we're back. So anyway, I was playing dodgeball with these kids, and there was this there was a time limit to playing dodgeball, and everything was going great. I was having fun. I was actually having fun compared to me just swimming around playing Pokemon and stuff. And then Coach called. It was over. Time limit had run out. And so it was about 30 seconds later, after he called end game. We were all just taking a breather, walking off the course. All of a sudden, I just get slammed in the back of the head with a dodgeball. And I collapsed to the ground. I don't remember what happened. I remember that I was just it was just pitch black. I got up and I was blinking, and I'm what just happened? And I had to be taken to the nurse's office because the staff believed that I might have had a concussion. I don't know. I don't really remember much of what happened the rest of that day because it's kind of a blur, but yeah, it was shitty. It was within my time of being in that summer camp that I started to just hate everything. I just hated everything. I hated my family. I hated my pets. I hated my world. I hated my life. I hated everything. Because the way I saw it, my mom didn't care enough to get me out of the summer camp where I was constantly being bullied, and I even almost got a concussion therefrom. That's the way I saw it as a kid. But I survived it. I dealt with everything that was thrown at me. I got through most of it. And I remember this kid, his name was fucking Tyler. He would always bully the shit out of me. I don't know why, but him and his big friend, always, come beat the shit out of me. They hit me with bricks. I'm not even lying to you. Me, pre-4th grade, being hit with bricks. Imagine that. That was absolutely horrible. I hated everything. So, my mom finally pulled me out of camp there, and she just let me stay at the JCC while she was at work. And that worked out fine for me because, well, JCC is a Jewish community center where she worked, and that worked out great for me because there was this guy there who played Pokemon. He was one of my mom's friends, and he played Pokemon, so I would just sit around and play Pokemon with him too. And we'd have battles. He was just a concierge, not a concierge clerk. He was the person who sits like at the desk and just waits for people to call. And I would just sit there and I would battle him, and I had fun with that. Like, back then I still only had my Pokemon Sapphire. Man, it was fun. It was a blast. I loved it. That was one of the times I just loved being there. However, the kids that went to camp with me, that got dropped off there after camp, they still remembered me. There was a time when I got locked in one of the locker rooms. Like, somebody literally stuffed me into a locker and just locked me there. And the janitor decided to go out for one more sweep of the lockers before they called it quits for the day, and that's where they found me. Well, that's where she found me, and oh my god, that was so horrifying. Like, the idea that I could have been stuck there forever, don't like that. That was horrible. No, I probably wouldn't have been stuck there forever, but I probably would have been stuck there for a long time. And there's this one day, like this was probably my first ever real, this was probably my first ever real rage mode moment, where, I can't describe it. My friends probably could, but I can't. But it's like where I lose all sense of my body, and the only intent I feel is just to destroy everything that's in my path. Just, like, take it all out. So, I don't remember the entirety of what happened. There's this one kid who was making fun of me, making fun of my mom, making fun of, like, my weight, my voice, where I came from, the games I played. He even took my Game Boy. What was it? My Game Boy SP. That's not what it's called, is it? Game Boy SP? I believe that's what it's called. But anyway, he took it, and he was just messing around with me and shit. And the guy that I play Pokemon with, he's like, hey, give it back to him. It's not right. And he's like, well, why don't you make me? And I'm like, well, fine, I'll fucking make you. I didn't curse, but I was like, fine, I will make you. And so I started, like, running up to him, and I was chasing him through the halls of the place. And then the guy that I played Pokemon with, he caught me, and he was holding me back. And this is like a probably 26-year-old man, 26 to 30-year-old man holding me back. And he was like, calm down, Donovan, calm down, everything's gonna be fine. And the kid was like, nah, you can't catch me, like a little asshole. And, like, my rage was so far off the roof that even though this guy was holding me back, I was still taking steps forward, like, and I was pulling him with me. And my mom appeared and was like, what the hell's going on? It's like, your son, I can't hold him back. And my mom came and she was holding me back too. And then I also had, I don't remember if it was 3 or 4 people, but I had her, the person I played Pokemon with, and it was either 1 or 2 security guards. They were all trying to hold me back, and I was still taking steps towards this kid. Like, pure anger was on my face. I was going to destroy him. He had my Pokemon game that had helped me get through all of the shit that I had to deal with before. I'm not putting up with that. So, just step by step forward, I walked up to him, and Like, when it was one person, he was perfectly fine, he was messing with me, but then, after everybody was there holding me back and I was still walking forwards, he kind of looked scared. I imagine that he would, because I don't even know how tall I was. I was probably super short, but I was still going forward. And eventually, what ended up happening was, it was 4 people, because my mom had to grab one of my legs, the security officer had to grab my other leg, and then the other one grabbed my arm, and then the person I played Pokemon with had to grab my arm. And, like, even though I was trying to move, I couldn't. Like, it was like me being suspended by chains. And, like, they wouldn't let me go. And they waited until I calmed down, which took several minutes. And then the kid finally gave me back my game. And I don't really remember much else what happened after that. Let me check the time. Ooh, 2 seconds. But yeah, that was the first rage moment that I had ever actually had, because I just hated everything. So then school started up. This is 4th grade. I was still bullied for being the new kid. And I absolutely, I was bullied because I was the new kid and I didn't have any friends. And it sucked. It sucked. I had to be in counseling at an elementary school because I was always crying. Like, I never stopped crying, not even once. And no matter what happened, somebody yelled at me or anything, I would just remember, all of the shit that had happened to me, and I would just start crying. There was absolutely nobody to take it out on, so I wasn't ever angry. But I was just sad, because I hated everything. I hated myself. And so I would just cry. The counselor and my mom assumed it was just because I was in a new environment. But that's not even true. It's not true at all. It might have added to it, but it wasn't true. It's not why it was. My teacher was the biggest jerk in the world. And, I was crying. I was crying once in the hall. I don't remember why, but she came up to me and she's like, "How about you stop crying, you little baby? You're in 4th grade now. You need to learn to get along without your parents." And teachers shouldn't say that to kids. I mean, really. Especially with what I was going through. Teacher may not have known, but she had no right to say it because there was no way for you to know. So if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it at all. So, absolutely worst time ever in my 4th grade year until the end of it, where I brought my Pokemon Emerald magazine to school. I played Pokemon still even during school hours to just get rid of that feeling of hating everything. Let me check the time. So, I brought my Pokemon Emerald book to school. And this was where I met somebody that I used to be proud to call my sister. Because it was weird for people, guys and girls, to hang out together and just be friends in elementary school. We called each other brother and sister because we just cared about each other that much. I'm gonna have to stop this video and save it because the SD card is currently out of memory. Give me, I don't know, probably half an hour. Okay, and with that I'm back. So, yeah, I met my sister then in 4th grade. So I brought my Pokemon Emerald book to school, and we like, talked about all sorts of stuff, like, talked about Pokemon in general. We mostly talked during art class because we sat next to each other there. And during art, we also talked about our hatred towards some of the bullies that were in my class. And, like, me meeting her, like, that was a major part of my life, because, like, she was, like, my first best friend that was there. Like, that was actually there for me. And I know it might sound silly, but, like, I really do think of her as a sister. Even though she's not my sister, I do think of her as my sister. Though she currently is in a situation in which she prefers to be and date with one guy compared to hanging out with the rest of her actual real friends. I mean, I still care about her, but it's messed up. It's messed up to choose love over friends, especially love for somebody who's been there for you for like a few months compared to somebody who's been there for you for a few years. But that's not exactly something I can change. So, anyway, met her, and we did this picture in art class, and it was this picture of Zapdos. I don't remember entirely why we did it, but oh right, it was our favorite Pokemon at the time. Like, it's the reason why I put that poster up on my wall. You see it? I put it up there because it just reminds me of the picture that we drew together. I gave her the actual picture we drew together for her 16th birthday, because I still had it until then. Anyway, even though I was her friend, like, I still did get bullied, and I still got messed with. I didn't really get beaten up anymore, but it was just a bunch of verbal abuse now. And then, I don't remember exactly how it went down, but one day, God, how did that happen? It's kind of a chain reaction of things. Like, she thought, well, she was taking it to heart what people were saying about me and her when we were hanging out all the time in elementary school. And so there was this time period in which I wasn't able to hang out with her or her friends. And at that point, I was hanging out with the kid you know as Elham. Yep. And so, I became friends with him pretty quickly. And, pretty soon, Tony, otherwise known as Asian Lee, came along. Austin, known as Ceradan or Mar vs. Cap, came along. Carlos, also known as Tentachi, came along. And we just ended up being a big group of friends that did everything together. But, unfortunately, I was still heavily affected by the bullying that took place. Like, I don't know if it sounds like it was that bad, but it really was. I mean, I would come home with, like, scars and bruises everywhere, and there's even some things that happened just because of bullying that I'm still affected by today because um, the physical pain of the stuff like never went away. Um, One of the examples of this is like uh, right about here. I was in summer camp. I was slammed with a brick multiple times right here, and so sometimes I completely lose control of this arm and it just gets stuck like this, and the entire area just completely tenses up and I'm not able to move anything right over here. And then I have to like I have to slowly reposition like every digit on my hand and slowly go down until I'm able to gain complete control of my arm again. Like, I just had a lot of shit to go through. And going through all of it, I'll admit I've thought about committing suicide a few times. I really have. But the only reason that I didn't go through with it was because I had these amazing friends that were always there for me no matter what. And those are the friends that I detailed like just a few minutes ago. All the people that I met in 5th grade. By now it is 5th grade, by the way. So, 5th grade, I'm doing better. I'm not doing great, but I'm doing better. Because of my sister, I'm not caring as much about what people say about me. I'm starting to defend myself. And this means, and like when I started to defend myself, like what ended up happening was that I bullied the bullies. Like when they were messing with somebody else, I would tell them to back the fuck off. That's the way I want to put it. But even then, like, all of that sadness that I had felt, like, all of it, me thinking that, everything, like, I just hate everything, it went from just sadness to straight up anger and rage and this inducing feeling of just destroying everything. And like when I was in elementary school, like Austin still alludes to this a lot. When I was in elementary school and I was hanging out with those guys, I would randomly just go off and just get really pissed out of nowhere and start breaking things and throwing things around and destroying everything because like in my mind I was really mad, and the only way that I could get out that anger was by taking it out on things around me. But I didn't want to take it out on my friends, so I would throw shit around and destroy objects that were around me because I couldn't really control all that rage. But yeah, they still remember that. They still do remember that. And I hate the fact that they had to put up with that just because of me. Because, I mean, sometimes it feels like all I've really done is just brought them a bunch of trouble. But they're my friends, and I care about them. And no matter how much Tatachi doesn't says something that I don't agree with, no matter how much Austin says a bunch of assholey things that piss me off, no matter how many times Ilham gets me in trouble because of something retarded that he's done, I'm still going to stick by them because these guys are my friends and I care about them. I would say something about something that Tony does that annoys me, but he really doesn't do anything that's annoying. Yeah, he really doesn't. Anyway. In 6th grade, you know the fight that happened called... It's like a video I made a while back. It's called My First Fist Fight. And this was like this, even though I've been beaten up a lot of times before, I didn't really fight back. I never ever really fought back. Because I couldn't fight back. Like, I thought I was weak and didn't want to fight back. Anyway, in 6th grade, like, I knew this bad kid that I just didn't trust at all. Like, I didn't like him. No, everybody knew that he was a bad kid. And, so, my sister goes missing in that video, and I don't know where she is. And I don't know what's happening to her. It could literally be anything in the possible, like, span of the world. And I'm just trying to find her, and, those, because of, like, my rage, I got into a fight with those gang members by accident. And, then I ended up mercilessly beating the crap out of a lot of them. And I'm not proud of that moment. That was the worst thing I've ever done. And that's when I realized that I need to learn to, like, control my anger. And since then, I worked a lot on it. And it has worked out pretty dang well. You can ask my friends. They know I don't really get pissed off enough to destroy everything, so to say. But after that, like, everything was just a normal life for me. Like, I still had a few issues controlling my anger up until, like, high school started. Like, the summer high school started. But everything... How much time is left on this? Good, 6 minutes. But everything that's happened to me, the bullying, the beatings, the physical violence, the verbal abuse, all of it affected me heavily. And because of the way it affected me, it made me very violent in my tendencies. So much so that my friends often joke that I'm going to go crazy and become a serial killer or something like that. Just, I don't know. But, yeah. I'm sorry for making you guys sit here for such a long video, but my stories with bullying, there's a lot of separate things that went into the story, and when I tell a story, I want to tell it good. I mean, when I did that first session, I thought maybe I should go back and redo it, but I want you guys to, like, see exactly what I'm thinking, not me thinking beforehand and then doing the video, but me just doing the video. Yeah. So occasionally, sometimes I do lapse back into, like, punching a wall or something like that, but it's never so bad that I go above doing that, because, like, I'm just worried that at some point I won't be able to control that anger. It will just, like, I will accidentally hurt one of my friends. I will accidentally hurt somebody that's innocent. Because, like, it probably sounds really weird, but with everything that happened to me, like, me being angry, it's like a completely separate part of me now. Like, it's the darkest trait within me, I guess you could say. Anyway, Yes, thank you guys for listening to this whole video. Just, if you see somebody getting bullied or anything like that, try and help them out. Try and be their friends. Try and be nice to them, but don't ever be the person that's bullying other people. Thank you for watching this ridiculously long video. I must now get back to cleaning. See you guys later. And thanks again.